Welcome to today's webinar titled Introducing a New Baby. We are thrilled to have Benicia Hernandez-Gill with us today. Ms. Gill has been working with the mental health field for 9 years and with the military for the last 4 years. She specializes in parenting skills and is the proud mother of 4 children. Without further delay, I will turn things over to our presenter, Benicia Hernandez-Gill.
Thank you, Stan, and thank you so much for the opportunity to present information on introducing the new baby into a home setting. This is actually a topic that's close to my heart, one, as a mental health professional, focusing on parenting skills and the whole family dynamic and wellness, and two, because I'm also fairly new. Well, she's not quite 2 yet, but I have a new baby that we also transitioned into our home setting. So today we are going to focus on the topic of introducing a new baby into the family. But before we do, we also have to do a little bit of housekeeping. So let me just go through our disclaimer. The appearance of hyperlinks does not constitute endorsement by the Department of Defense of this website or the information, products, or services contained therein. For other than authorized activities such as military exchanges and morale and welfare recreation sites, the Department of Defense does not exercise any editorial control over the information you may find at these locations. Such links are provided consistent with the stated purpose of this Department of Defense sponsored webinar. All right, so let's move forward. Today, our objectives are going to be to learn and understand our child's possible reaction to a new sibling and find helpful ways to prepare a child for a new sibling. We are going to accomplish this with an introduction. Then we'll focus on the developmental considerations. We'll understand your child's reactions. We'll prepare for the new baby, and then we'll conclude and summarize. A new baby in the family is an exciting event. However, if the new baby is also a new sibling, it can be a challenging adjustment for everyone. Many children adjust very easily. But for those who don't, preparing young children for the new baby can help facilitate in the adjustment. We need to consider the developmental considerations of when this new baby is going to come into our lives and how old our first baby is. Children from ages 1 to 2 cannot fully understand what it means to have a new brother or sister. And certainly at the age of 1 and 2, they're still going to need a lot of time and closeness with their parents. And they would have some separation anxiety individually anyways at that age. So certainly compounding it by adding a sibling into the setting could possibly increase some separation anxiety. So we really need to think about this adding the new baby in with your first child. And if you are in the setting of the hospital or even at home, just really reassuring your first child with plenty of hugs and cuddle times to give them the opportunity to know that they are still very, very much loved. And once arriving home, we need to think about the routine that we'll set up and allocate some time daily to spend separately when the baby's asleep would be a perfect opportunity to give yourself some individual time with your older child so that they can still feel like they're the only focus, yet they're still your primary focus. Okay, so for children ages 2 to 4, we need to consider developmental they may have a better understanding of what a new brother or sister means. However, they're still going to be very attached to parents, and they may not understand how to share you with others. So we really need to explain that the new baby is going to need a lot of attention, and that they will also still get some separate attention when the baby's asleep as a perfect opportunity. A good activity to engage with your 2 to 4-year-old would be to take out their baby book and look at baby pictures of when they were much smaller and explain the process of them being a baby and then growing, just so that they can identify what it is to have a baby and when they were a baby and the new baby coming into the home. For children that are school-aged, maybe 5 years or older, they're not usually as threatened. However, they can certainly resent the attention that the new baby gets. So we really need to understand that school-aged children may become jealous, and we need to find ways to include them in the whole process, like if they make some special artwork, we could hang it in the baby's room just so that they know that they're still important. Children 5 and older certainly are also able to participate in some simple chores to make them feel included, like gathering the baby wipes and Pampers for the next pamper changing. And certainly there are plenty of those opportunities. So we really need to try and understand our children's reaction and to get a sense of how they might feel about the new baby. Imagine this. Imagine that your spouse tells you he or she is bringing home a new spouse to be part of the family. Now, he or she is younger than you. Now, that right there is already going to frustrate me. Now, when the 3 of you are out together, people acknowledge you, but then they say to the new spouse, "Oh, you are so adorable and cute." Then they turn to you and ask you, "So how do you like your new wife or husband?" Now, looking from that humorous standpoint, it's certainly understandable that there may be feelings of resentment or jealousy. So we have to take into consideration that we certainly wouldn't adjust easily if a new spouse came into our lives and our marriages. So imagine how it would be if you're bringing this new child into the family with your already established child. To prepare for the new baby, let's have some dialogue with our children about the pregnancy and the announcement of the pregnancy. You want to take that opportunity to tell your child separately when you tell your family and friends, because you want this to come from you. You don't want your child to hear that there's going to be a new addition to the family from somebody else. I had this opportunity to prepare my older children. I have adult children and a middle school age child, because I included them in the decision. So when the time came that we announced it, they were very much prepared because they felt included in the process of deciding whether we were even going to expand our family. Another opportunity to prepare is the sibling preparation classes. And there are many hospitals that have the opportunity to take a tour of the hospital with the sibling in order to give them a better understanding of the whole process and just to have them included. You can also give them a doll and show them how to hold and touch a baby. Just gives them an opportunity of what the size of a baby would be like and the proper way to gently hold and touch or not drop the baby. Just really give them a sense of belonging. Get them involved in preparing for the baby. Certainly, you're going to have opportunities where you're going to go shopping, ask them their perspective as to what should be purchased. Do you like this outfit, or do you like this outfit? Just to include them in the whole process. And then reading children's books to them about having a new sibling. So there are many great books that can assist with the transition of the new sibling coming into the family. There's a series of 4 books written by Rachel Fuller entitled Waiting for the Baby, My New Baby, You and Me Baby, and Look at Me New Baby. There's also other books like I'm Going to Be a Big Sister or I'm Going to Be a Big Brother by the author Brenda Birkin. Another book would be We Have a Baby by Catherine Falwell. And for slightly older children, maybe the first grade reading level, an appropriate selection could be 101 Things to Do with the Baby, written by Jan Ormerod. We have to understand that your already established child might regress, and give them that opportunity to go through some of the emotions of wanting to stay the focus and maybe be the only child. Now, during this time, we also want to not introduce any other significant changes. We want to try and let this be the focus to give your child the opportunity to adjust. So we don't want to emotionally bombard them with so many different things going on in their lives that they're unable to cope with all the different emotions. Certainly, going back to what we said, having special time with your child before and after the new baby is born. Certainly making a memory with your child before the baby is born so that you can both look back on that would be a really good idea. And then after the baby is born, allotting some time or a special significant plan that you have or activity that you like to do, that it's just the two of you, can certainly continue to encourage the process of your child adjusting. Now, children tend to respond better when family and friends bring small gifts for them at the same time they bring gifts for the baby. So certainly even a conversation beforehand with your family or friends to encourage them to bring a small token for the already established child and give them acknowledgement during the process of when they're visiting the hospital setting or the home setting. Visit family or friends who have recently added another child to their family. Now, this opportunity beforehand will give you another perspective. Certainly the dialogue with the other parents can give you some encouragement and just an opportunity to see how their children adjusted. Get their feedback and watch how their child is now interacting with the new baby. And certainly there are lots of parenting websites and blogs that I'm still using now. A couple of that I like to use are whattoexpect.com and kidshealth.org. This gives really good information from everything from pregnancy to probably even up to school age. And certainly they have a lot of information on the topic of adjusting to the sibling's new arrival. Okay. We want to help our children identify and express their feelings. We really want to have open communication with our children and validate if they're feeling jealous or sad or excited, even just excited about the new baby coming. We want them to allow them to have that ability to feel comfortable with expressing their feelings with their parents. Okay? Let your older child help take care of the baby while you are present. Certainly, like I said, there's ways that we can prepare them as far as holding the baby or letting them participate in the process of changing pampers. It just reassures them that they're still part of the family. When the baby is a little older, teach the sibling how to play appropriately with the baby. So you really try to explain to your child that the baby is going to spend most of their time eating and sleeping and crying, when they're first born. And then as they get older, they'll develop and be able to interact together so sweetly. Let them know how important they will be to have the new sibling. So nowadays, I love the T-shirts that say Big Brother or Big Sister. Certainly a T-shirt like that can kind of reassure them as their role when they're out in the public setting or at the grocery store. People can acknowledge them as being the big sibling. And talk to them about what it is like to have a new baby in the family. Like I said, an open communication, reiterating the opportunity to grow up with someone and have a playmate and to love somebody and just to expand the family's love. We definitely want to discuss the possible changes to the family routine before they happen, just to allow the child a better understanding, because what we kind of think is natural is not going to be natural for them. So really kind of prepare them about what's going to happen when mom goes to the hospital, how long mom can be expected to be gone, who's going to care for them while mom is in the hospital, what's going to happen when mom gets back, and, the routine of adding this new family member into the family. You can also give your child a baby of their own, just to give them an opportunity to gain a sense of responsibility. So we really want to conclude and focus on remembering that many children will adjust well to their new sibling, but no matter how well you prepare your child, you can still expect to have some challenges along the way. If you become overwhelmed, reach out to families and friends for support. Now that's very, very important because certainly when you're coming home with the new baby and you already have first baby, first of all, you need the opportunity just to even recuperate and regain your composure, rest, and feel better. So using friends and family to kind of divide up all the other responsibilities and allow yourself the opportunity to bond with your baby and to continue to bond with your little one or other child. And if not, certainly contact your pediatrician or your behavioral health specialist. Military One Source is an excellent resource to connect you with services, resources, and specifically our non-medical counseling services, where you can either participate in some counseling individually or as a family to assist in the transition of expanding your family. So we just really want to summarize the new siblings in the family and how challenging it can be for a young child. The preparation your child will need to adjust to the new sibling coming. The need for open communication with your child about how it will be when the new baby arrives, and letting your child participate in the preparation of the baby and acknowledging your child's feelings and encouraging to express their feelings. And then if all does not adjust well or you're just feeling overwhelmed, the very, very important support services that are here, that are within your base community and certainly with Military One Source. Now, do we have any questions?
Yes, we do have a couple of questions. The first one reads, are there any military support groups for new moms on military bases?
Actually, that is a very good question. And there certainly are a lot of, most installations have new parent support programs. And if you are unable to connect with that, certainly just the simplest way is just to call our 800 number, 800-342-9647, and then we can get that information as to what the closest support program would be for your location.
Okay, great. What are some tips for school-age children if their older child starting acting out around the new baby?
Okay. Well, certainly we want to prioritize the safety of both children. And depending on what the specific behavior is, really having some open communication with that child to try and get them to share why it is that they're acting out or what they're going to. They're probably frustrated and even jealous. And really just breaking it down as to, expanding the home, the fact that you still love them so very much, and the fact that you want to find a way that everyone can be happy in the household, and just allowing them to share their feelings without chastising them for maybe having feelings of resentment or jealousy, just to get a better understanding of what's going on in their head. I remember when I had my first daughter and then we added my son, she asked me, when is he going back? Like, when is he going back to the hospital? And she was just at a point where she was like, okay, he's not fun anymore, and he's taking up way too much of my time. So it was definitely an adjustment period for her, and it's understandable that they are not feeling like the priority.
Okay, great. We do have one last question that's come in. My son is not adjusting well to his new little brother. He is only 4. What can Military One Source do to help?
Okay, that's a very good question. We have a lot of different resources that we could connect this parent to. I would say starting off by just giving us a phone call. Again, our number is 800-342-9647. All of our triage consultants, anyone that answers the phone, is a master level clinician and can certainly give you an opportunity to express what it is that you're looking for, or even just express your concerns so that they can kind of gear you with some resources specifically for your family. Our website has some pretty good resources as well as far as that are tailored to 4-year-old kids. So I'm not sure if it would be in the form of a book or a video. I would have to look that up specifically, but certainly calling our 800 number would give us the opportunity to do some research for this parent.
Okay, great. At this time, we don't have any more questions, so I would like to thank our presenter, Benicia Gill, for sharing her invaluable experience and expertise. I would also like to thank our attendees for participating in today's webinar. And if you find yourself having questions after the webinar is over, please email moswebinars@militaryOneSource.com, and I'll send the questions over to our presenter for an answer. This concludes today's webinar on introducing a new baby. Thank you all for attending, and have a great day.
Thanks, Dan.